Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
I'm not a party game player. I'm not really into playing party games. I think they're just too thin for me. I don't enjoy the interaction. I don't enjoy the forced comedy. They're okay. If everybody wants to play, I'll play. But I'm not your player. I'm not bringing the fun to the table. It's just not going to be my thing. Although I won't say absolutely I won't play it. Every once in a while, a party game comes along that I'll enjoy. Dixit is that way. King of Tokyo I consider a party game. It came that way. And Spyfall is that way. I think I might like the hidden spy trader mechanic inside of this, but nevertheless, Spyfall is a party game that I continue to keep in my collection and continue to bring out with people to play. Now, my definition of a party game is likely more broad than most people would say. Most people might not consider Spyfall to be a party game, but I do. The game plays up to 8, 3 to 8, and it's very simple. We're all going to get a card. We're all going to know a picture on the card, and everybody else is going to have a spy card, or one other person going to have a spy card. That spy card is trying to guess our location, and we're trying to figure out who the spy is by asking questions. You don't want to be too obvious, because the spy will quickly figure out what we're doing or where we're at, and if we're too vague, we'll never figure out who the spy is. So there's some come and go. Coming up with clever questions is super important. You can kind of punt it at times. I feel like some of the games, I've played games where like you're trying to come up with a funny joke. Some people are just inherently better at that. With this, if you don't have a good question, you can just kind of punt it a little bit and let it move on, because you're still in the game thinking about what's going on. Which is another good thing about this game. There's not a lot of downtime. You may not be the one asking the question, but you're in the conversation. I think you should ask him that question, and that's important. Or even, we're all starting to think it's Jared over there. Maybe you should ask Jared a question. Let's see. But why am I? Then you're like, well, why are you wanting me to ask Jared, not you, a question? And it goes round and around. But even when they're asking the question and answering it, you're thinking, how does that play in? So you're constantly thinking and trying to figure out your own game. And then when you go to guess, when you stop the timer, you're trying to get a unanimous decision so everybody's involved in that conversation. And even if you've been kind of sitting back quiet the whole time, you're going to be able to jump in and comment. Your comment's going to be needed because you're going to have to vote. So, fun game. The biggest downfall of this game is that in order to play it effectively, you really need to know all the cards. The rule book has about 80% of each picture of the cards. I don't know why they just didn't print every one. But if you're the spy and you're just like looking at the card over and over again, nobody else is looking, well, you're the spy because you're looking at it. Not knowing the cards makes it more difficult. So, but there's no way to play around that. It's just what it is. You got to play the game a few times. You can still have fun because they can still look at the book. So be it. That might be the only downfall of Spyfall. But this is a really fun game. If you can get your hands on a copy of this, I would highly recommend seeking out Spyfall. This is going to be a keeper for me. Spyfall. Here are the components. You get a really nice looking box. It's fairly portable. Not too bad. You're going to have a rule book that's full color. This is sort of helpful. I wish this would have had all the cards on it, because knowing the cards is really important. You get a box of cards. So I'm just going to show you what one set looks like, and then you'll see a whole bunch later. But you're always going to get one spy card, and that's the guy who doesn't know what the card looks like. And then you're going to get, here's the nightclub, and it's going to be the same thing over and over for the number of players. But Very good artwork. Maybe I'll show you another one for those of you that just haven't seen it. So, Spy. And then here is the circus tent. Okay. And I bagged these myself, but I believe I did. Here's the corporate party. You got BoJack Horseman there. It's always a plus for me. So they're just cards, and you don't want these to get nicked whatsoever, but you get quite a few of these in the box. The box is just full of cards, so that's the components for Spyfall. The rules for Spyfall are pretty clear. There is a scoring system in the book. I almost always negate the scoring system and just play for fun. We play a few rounds until everybody's wanting to do something different. You can score it and you can have a winner, but that's kind of missing the point of Spyfall. I feel like they included it maybe because most games have to have a scoring thing or it's just weird. But that's not why you're playing this game. Other than that, the rules are pretty clear. I just wish there was something that shown all the pictures so you could see them all. Because if the spy hasn't seen a lot of these cards, then it is a lot harder and perhaps not as fun. There is scoring in this game. I don't utilize the scoring, but you get 2 points if you're the spy and nobody finds you. Spy earns 4 if a non-spy is successfully accused, or the spy earns 4 points if the spy stops the game successfully guesses the location. If the non-spies win, they get 1 point. If the player initiated the successful acquisition, gets 2 points. But we just kind of play until we get bored. The way it works is one player gets a spy face down, nobody knows who it is. Everybody gets one of these corporate parties, and then they'll start asking each other questions. The spy is trying to stop to guess the location. The people with the locations just trying to guess who the spy is. And you ask them yes or no questions. You can ask them any question. It has to be yes or no. What do you like to ride better, horses or camels? If they say camels, uh-oh. If they say horses, then maybe they're not the spy. But you don't want to give too many clues. Like, do you like to dance at a corporate party while there's some weird guys on a computer and there's a guy in a pink suit? Well, then they're in those corporate party. The spy will guess the location. So you want to be vague about them. The more interesting the questions you can be, the more interesting it is. So, you might be like, do you like Jennifer Lopez or do you like Metallica? Well, this really isn't a Metallica scene, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it is. So when you ask A, ask B a question, B cannot ask A a question. B would have to ask C, D, or E, somebody else at the table, if that makes sense. So you can't be asking the same person. Then it can go back to A after that. You can stop the time once per game and accuse somebody of being the spy. If you're wrong, you can't stop the game again. If you're right, obviously you get points. The spy at the end, when the timer runs out, everybody can ask, and you can try to get a unanimous vote on it. Or as close as possible. And really, that's Spyfall. There's a lot of fun in this box. It may not look like there's a lot of things moving around, but this is a fun party game. Who should buy this game? I mean, this is a game that could be sold in a big box. This is not a gamer game necessarily. This is a non-gamer. You can really pull this out at any point in time and play it. It is super simple. If I have one friend who does not like the hidden trader, hidden information type thing, he probably isn't going to like it, but the rest of the world will pretty much like this game. The fact that they cannot keep this game in print is a shame, because they should be printing thousands upon thousands of copies of this and getting wider distribution. It's that good of a game. This is every bit as good as any party game that I've played. It has its flaws, which I've mentioned here, but it's a fantastic game that has a broad audience. It's going to be a keeper for me.